Hello, this is Wyland with the FPV podcast, where we talk about the FPV community and everything we do with our radio-controlled machines. Before we get into the show, I just want to very quickly touch upon our Patreon giveaway. This is a monthly giveaway that we're going to be doing for our Patreon supporters. So we're going to be giving away a lot of great products. The first month, January, we're going to be giving away a GoPro and a couple of other things. So if you're interested in supporting the podcast and being entered into the giveaway, please go over to fpvpodcast.com. That's fpvpodcast.com. Thank you so much for supporting the FPV podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to a international version of the FPV podcast. We are following our trend in India. Right now we're coming to you with another pilot that has over 5 years of experience flying in India. So he's definitely one of the OGs in the country, and he has some interesting stories to tell in terms of, getting components. It's one of the things that we've heard about from our last two pilots who are making their way through the racing scene. Elvin can't join us today, so we're going to go right ahead and introduce our guest. Ken, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Ken FPV and I'm from the northeast part of India, the state called Assam, and the name of my town is Tinsukia. I have around 5 years of flying experience and 4 years of FPV experience.
I would say that this is the first person that I spoke to in India that has more than, I would say, a year or a year and a half of experience. So you're one of the persons that kind of like started flying when, FPV started becoming a thing and multi-rotors becoming a thing. So can you tell us like what brought you so early into, flying multi-rotors or drones?
Actually, it was my cousin's birthday. He was just 10-year old, so I was searching for a gift for him. So suddenly I stumbled upon a quadcopter, like a toy called quadcopter. So I gifted him one. So after that, I also flew it for a few times and felt very interested on with the thing because I'm from childhood only. I'm very interested with toys. So I flight that for like few weeks and then did some research about quadcopters. So finally did all my research and made a F450. That also like 3 months later, I ordered it from China. So the thing with that, what happened is like when I built my F40 450, so I forgot to order the props. The main problem was that I was only concentrating on the drone, so I had only one set of prop. That also on the maiden flight when I tested it, I crashed it,
Oh,
and
yeah,
again
no
I had
replacements.
no replacement. Again I have to wait for like 60 days for the props to arrive from China.
Wow, that's a long time to wait. That's 2 months right there. Wow, okay.
I had to wait for 60 days for the props to arrive, and then I started flying again, line of sight. So after that, I heard about this FPV system through which you can see things the drone sees. It was like I have a video game like background, so I used to play a lot of like PS and like this Xbox. So I was pretty much interested in that thing. So I ordered one camera and a large VTX, which was like if you see right now, matlab, the size of the VTX is so large compared to what we get right now. So and a LCD monitor for watching that thing video feed. So I flied with the FPV system for that 2 years, I guess, with the LCD, and then finally I upgraded myself to Boscam goggles. That's where that was the like what to say. That was only available at that time, I guess. Boscam GS 920.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
yeah, that thing I used. It didn't have a DVR, so I have to modify it with a external DVR to see the footages. Because buying something like a GoPro was very costly. HD cam was costly.
Oh,
In
yeah,
India, it's
definitely.
around like yeah, it's costing around 40K in India. GoPro. So the first camera, action camera I bought was a Xiaomi Yi, I guess. So I used it for like a couple of years, and then finally I buy the session recently, I guess it's been a year, I guess. Session 5. GoPro is like GoPro, man. You can't beat the GoPro.
You can't beat the GoPro, huh? Are you doing
Yeah,
4K recordings or are you doing like just 1080 in a high frame rate?
1080 1080 is fine enough. 4K, yeah, I did one 4K for the Crossfire review. So I went around 5 kilometer away from me and dropped the quad like somewhere in the water. And
That sucks.
yeah, hopefully, thankfully, I got the quad back because I was going in a straight line. So I knew where the quad fell down.
Boy, that
So
was probably a nerve-wracking day, right? It's like, okay,
yeah,
did
it
I
was
just
very nerve
lose
wracking.
like over $1,000 in equipment?
Yeah, if there was a GoPro plus a Crossfire system, then a 800 milliwatt VTX and like whatnot. If you lose that, it's like a bad day.
Yeah, well, it's a bad day for anybody losing something like that. But
Yeah.
that's, that's a very good long history of basically seeing everything that was going on in FPV or the evolution of FPV. So, how did you get into the IDRL and into racing?
Um, Actually, IDRL contacted me, I guess. Yeah. IDRL contacted me. Oh, there was something going on in the net, Facebook, I guess. So I was skeptical about doing the registration first. Then I saw a few people registering and they are writing about this and that event. So finally, I did the registration on IDRL. So that's how I came to know about it. I went for the first event and met a lot of people. We had a like WhatsApp group where pilots used to interact with each other. So came to know that yeah, okay, there are people who are in this hobby because for almost like 3.5 year I was flying alone. So after the IDRL came, so I got to know that there are people in the same hobby.
Definitely. That's
Oh,
cool. Now,
yeah,
like you were mentioning that since you're from the north, like you're the only one flying up there, so you pretty much have to you take airplane flights in order to go to any of the events. Is that right?
yeah, yeah, correct. And plus, the main problem is that the place where I'm staying is very sensitive area because it's near the border. So and little bit of like terrorist problem. So joint army operation. This things keeps on going on. So I keep a very low profile whenever I go out. Just fly back and come back home because I can't show off this thing because uh, it might be like the defense people might think that I am like doing some illegal thing.
Oh, I
But that's
got you.
one more problem. Yeah. Okay.
Be safe up there, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You don't want to get in trouble with the military, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the meat of this podcast. And one of the things that you've
Okay.
been talking to me about, which is that
Yeah.
the components that you're getting inside or getting shipped into India
Hmm.
isn't the same quality as you're hearing like from people on Facebook and YouTube when they're doing the reviews. Can you talk a little bit about
Correct.
that?
Yeah, sure. Like the components, whatever, like Emacs, T motors, even Brother Hobby, lipos like Bonka, they're sending like substandard product in India because mostly I think because India doesn't comprise even 1% of their global market share. So they don't care about like what product they are sending out here. They are not doing proper quality check because T Motors such a good brand. When I got the first batch like for testing from Satya, who is the owner of quadcopters.com, it was like a fantastic, no problem, no issue. Bearing were like totally fine. But when he bought the motors for stocking and for selling, those motors were like totally substandard. The bearings were making sound, the shafts were breaking. Even when you're tightening the nut, the shaft breaks and come off. And he also invested on the F20s. Like that was like pathetic. It's like if you drop it like from the table, also the shaft will come off from the motor. It was totally weak. We complained about this to T Motor, but no, I don't think so. Any actions were taken. Again, like Emax, I'm using like RS2205S, the new ones with the hollow shaft.
Right.
Those are having also substandard issues. Like I am using more than 20, 30 motors alone. So the magnets are falling down, the shaft is breaking, the bearing is making sound after like 5, 6, 7 flights. If you do rough kind of flights, that is. And like what to say, the Bonka batteries were like totally pain in the ass because I bought around 10 Bonka batteries. Like there were like graphene batteries which came and Furadi, Furadi?
Yes.
Uradi was like using testing this battery at that time. So I thought it's going to be a very good battery, but the battery batch which I got was totally a rip-off for me, you know. In like when I used it for the first time, it started sagging. So I did the complaint to the hobby shop from where I buy it, and they said they will talk to the Bonka, but I never got any reply from them back about the batteries.
So it's one.
And
Go
the
ahead.
list
Keep
go
going.
on. Yeah, and the list goes on.
So basically,
Even
what?
the Mhm.
Yeah.
Even the tornado T1 motors, which were like very good, we heard about it. It's very good, very powerful. And when the local hobby shop, that is RC Hyper, brought it in India, all the motors were having problem. And the major problem is that the for Indian, it's like the minimum order requirement is like 100 units of whatever you buy, be it a batteries or like a motor, anything, props. You have to buy a minimum of 100 units. Then only the sellers are giving it at a wholesale price. Otherwise, they don't give the wholesale price. That is also a bigger issue.
And like for you, like the local hobby shops are really the only way you can easily access components like that. So if they're having issues, then it's just going to be affecting everybody. Is
No,
that kind
like
of it?
we can directly order from Banggood also. But the thing is that we have to wait for some time.
Like
But on the
how?
other hand, if I buy from local hobby shop, it arrives in 3 days. On the other hand, if I buy from outside India, it's going to come in 20 to 25 days.
So it's a very long shipment time, and you can only
Yeah,
really do that if you're willing to wait for that time, or if you have time to wait.
yeah. On the FPV is such a hobby. It's like a itch. If you feel like itching, you have to itch it as soon as possible. If you break something, you want it to be replaced as soon as possible because you want to keep on flying. You don't want to wait. That is the main issue.
Yeah, that is definitely the point, and that's why having local hobby shops is great. But it seems like
Yeah.
when the local hobby shops are ordering stuff, they're getting like the B grade stock of some of the inventory, and that's kind of sad to hear. And it's one of those things where that's something that shouldn't happen really at any time, unless you're getting a discount. But it seems like you guys, when I looked at the prices, you guys are actually paying more for your components than we are.
Yeah, yeah. We are paying more for the components. Indians are like charged more for the whatever they are buying.
And
It's like outside India, it's like cheaper, I guess.
And for you, like you order components and you have a high chance of it getting stuck in customs, right? You were telling me you
No,
had.
no, no, no. Matlab, the thing is that na, because they caught gold on the shipment, that's why they are doing this physical examination. Normally, they don't like catch these things. They just pass it. Unless it's a like totally made up drone like a DJI, they will
Hmm.
stop that thing. FC, VTX, antennas, and even LiPo batteries you can import directly.
So
Even from Bangladesh, they're coming. AliExpress, Alibaba, everyone is sending. Once there was a issue of a DHL issue, I guess, like because of the LiPo, the warehouse or the plane caught fire.
okay,
During that time, there was a strict rule about the LiPos, like they have to discharge the LiPo to certain voltage to make it shippable. There was some kind of issue a year back, I guess.
a
So
year
that
back.
time the LiPo thing was like restricted. Yeah, maybe a year back.
So like you're having all these issues, and it seems like there's really no way for you to get that improvement. Is that is what you're thinking? Is that there's just not enough people flying for you to have a voice to be able to up the quality level of the components you're getting?
Yeah, that's correct. Because in India, it's hardly 50 pilots, I guess. Not more than maybe 50 pilots, racers, FPV racers. 50, not more than that.
Okay, what about freestyle pilots? Is Are you getting more people
Same,
just
it's
out
total,
flying?
total. It's total of like for this quadcopters drones, it's like 50 to 100 maybe. It's like not more than that. Yeah, that's why the product is because the market share of those companies are not high. It's less than 1%, I guess.
So like quadcopters.com, it seems like that is the go-to place to shop in India. Is that true?
Uh, it's like it's owned by my friend only, so I usually buy from him. And he's a nice guy. We go to Thailand every year.
For him to stock stuff, is he just getting feedback from the pilots saying, we want this stuff, and that's what he orders, and then hopefully it
Yeah,
arrives at a
yeah,
timely date, and people just basically buy it.
yeah. He gets feedback from pilots what they want, but the he only brings stuff which if the majority of pilots are wanting that stuff, like the
Oh,
motors, the FC, the VTX, whatever the majority of the pilots want, they bring. He brings that stuff.
okay. So, is there like a community around what in India, like a WhatsApp community that basically says these are the components we're looking for, and that's what he stocks?
Actually, there are like few favorite pilots who people from India follow. So whatever they are flying with, people try to tend to copy those equipment.
Okay,
That is
I
the
got
trend
you.
going on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. So, like, who are those pilots? Are you listed among one of them?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay, so which other pilots do you think get to have influence over the list?
Uh, I have one friend from Bangalore team. He's like Pravesh and like yeah, Pravesh
Okay.
and me. I guess yeah, people follow me also.
Okay, sounds good. It's like it's very hard for, a hobby shop to figure out what components to stock. And like you said, with the high minimum orders, you have to stock something that people are actually wanting to buy because you don't want to hold on to that inventory.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
yeah,
in this
correct.
hobby, it's like the new hot thing moves really fast.
Yeah,
So is India following the trends really quickly? Like, there's always a new motor coming out, a new frame coming out. Do you find
yeah.
that you guys
If it's available, we tend to buy it and like try it. So now, like before, I was like compulsive buyer. Like something is coming out, I'm buying it, trying it. But now, whenever I something new comes out, I read the review first, then only try the thing, because there are like issues when in the early batches, na. So it's better to see the review of people than buying the thing
right?
before I actually jump on every new thing which is to come out. Like other pilots are also there who jump on the new things. Oh, this thing came out. Johnny is using this motor. I should also use this motor. He's using that prop. I should also use this prop. Oh, Sean Taylor is using this kind of setup. I should also copy his setup. But now the thing is that we tend to only use those stuff which are tested and tried and has a good matlab, review of that thing
Yeah, that
instead of just jumping on the new stuff.
yeah, that's a very good way of doing things, especially when components cost more than what they normally are. Well, what's normally for us,
Yeah.
but for you, I don't know if you compare rates or not in terms of what we pay here in the U.S. and what you pay here over there in India. But
It's like 10% difference, I guess.
10%, okay.
Five,
So
yeah, 5 to 10%, not more than that.
what about when you order from Banggood? Is it still also a 10% increase?
No, it's like normal, whatever you pay.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of hard for a local hobby shop to compete with sometimes then. But there's also the fact
Yes.
that it's like a month delivery time though. So you have to wait a
Yeah.
long time.
Sometimes it takes 60 to 90 days.
That is a really long time to wait. I'm not even sure if I remember stuff that I order after a month. It's like, oh, okay.
Even it's like a Christmas gift to me. Like suddenly something which I ordered 3 months back, it comes. Oh, you have a parcel. And I open it. Oh, I ordered this lens like 3 months ago. It came right now.
It's like a
It happened many
surprise.
times. Yeah, it's a surprise to myself.
That's kind of funny. So let's go ahead and get back to the IDRL. Obviously, we're going to be having a very big event down in February, and
Yeah, yeah.
for you,
Yes.
you actually went to a lot of the IDRL events at the very beginning.
Yes.
And after hearing
Yeah.
about this event, you seem like you're very interested in going there and competing. So tell me about your goals and what you're hoping to accomplish.
I'm trying to beat all the local boys in India and compete with the pros in the because we have to beat the local boys first. I have to beat the local boys actually. So it's been like 50 days continuous. I'm going. As soon as I heard about this event, I started practicing and try to rectify all the minus point which I have. Like I have to stop and aim for the gate. I'm trying to correct that thing. So I'm trying to move as fast as possible and yeah, and trying to improve with every flight. I'm burning around 20 packs every day. It's like first day was very hectic because I'm normally not used to like burning 20 packs. So you'll have like headache and nausea
Yeah.
and
It
whatnot.
takes a
God
lot of
knows.
concentration, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely takes a lot of concentration. 20 packs is not like what to say. I'm not Sean Taylor like burning 100 packs per day.
Yeah, that takes like amazing dedication, and even then,
Yeah,
you'll be
yeah.
tired after all of that. It's
It's very, very tiring. I don't know how Sean Taylor like burns 100 packs. If I burn 100 packs, I like collapse out there only.
it's one of those things where he did it for a short period of time, and after that, he didn't do it.
It's very 20 packs is like too much. If you crash, you have to again like I take like multiple setups every day, like 5 setups, similar setups. I have my own frame designed, so it's a little bit stretched X than the normal. So the first trend started of like making their own custom frame from my one of my friend from Bangalore. I told you about Pravesh.
Yeah.
So he brought up the trend of building the custom frame. So I tried his frame. So I didn't like few things about the frame, so I redesigned his frame. So I made it more better. So this is like third, the one which is getting cut right now is the third generation of my frame. So I improved it like 3 times. This is the final time which I matlab, send it for cutting. So everyone is like flying their own frame.
Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. Is like cutting your own frame in India very easy to do? It sounds like people can get that made pretty quickly.
Not in India, in China.
Okay, so you send your design off and then they just ship it to you?
Yeah, they ship it to us. So one of the expert lady who is cutting my frame is like Wendy Chain. Uh,
Okay.
she has a lot of experience with the carbon fiber and different types of carbon fiber. Even I think the iFlight guys they do their cutting from Wendy Chain. So I matlab, met her through one of my friends in Facebook, I guess. Yeah. After that, we discussed about this thing, and I got my first frame cut it through her. So I like the quality of the carbon. After that, since then, I'm like giving the orders to her only for cutting.
Okay, so how long does it take for you guys to send in the design and then them to ship back you what you designed?
Okay, the minimum order requirement for her is like 5 frames. Minimum 5 frames. I have to do the cutting. So I'll send the design to her. She will like give the price, how much it's going to cost me. So she doesn't do bargaining. That is the minus point. So she'll fix the price. She'll
And
fix
then
the
you're just gonna have
price.
to pay.
Yeah, I just have to pay. She fixed the price. Okay, I pay you that much money, and they after that we agree on that what type of carbon is best for the frame. It's type A, type B, or type C. So after deciding that, we'll like yeah, she'll cut and she'll send the frame to us.
And then it's the standard 30 to 60 days.
No, no, no. It's faster than that. It's like 25 days.
20. Okay, that's still not fast.
Yeah, because the thing has to be cutted. After that, she like pack it and send it to the agent, which is in like China. Then he's going to send it to us.
Oh, okay. I got you. It was great talking to you. Definitely want to get to know you guys more when we get over there. So, if people want to follow you, where can they follow you?
They can follow me in Instagram and YouTube. The name of my channel is like Ken FPV in YouTube and Instagram. They can type Ken FPV.
Awesome. Cool. And hopefully, you can get more pilots to, start flying with you in the north. I guess you're going to have to, like, I don't know, go up and drum up more people to, build your own community up there.
Actually, I tried like few times, but they don't want to invest so much money in this hobby.
Yeah, there is a lot of investment to actually getting up and flying, isn't it?
And plus they need time and dedication na, for this hobby. If they have money, then they don't have time. If they have time, they have no money.
Yeah, it's definitely a time waster and a money waster if you are not careful with it. Okay, great. Hey, Ken, it was great talking to you, man. Appreciate all of the time, and we're going to have a lot of fun when we get over there to see all of you guys.
Okay, nice talking with you too. Let's hope we meet soon.